Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of First and Last. I am Josh, and I am with Joe.
Hey, man.
And Jimmy is still dead.
Oh.
So we have fantastic Claire back.
Oh, yay.
People demanded again.
Well, I think Josh and Joe just want me because I bring snacks. So
You brought a candy last week, and now you brought just this candy again, and then also cookies.
well, Halloween happened. There's some extra candy.
We're just coming out of spooky month, so.
Joe's forever in spooky month, I think, after this year anyway.
Live a spooky life.
He was so mad that I didn't know his favorite season was fall. Like, I've never met a person.
I was mad because you said I don't have a season.
Oh,
just like,
he's getting mad again.
Put that on a person and say they don't have a season.
Josh, I'm
while
sorry.
We're, like, driving through like colorful fall leaves, and I'm just like, look at this wonderfulness.
He's spilling his heart to you, Claire, and you don't care at all.
I have like a mouthful of cotton, or not cotton.
You don't even know what you're eating.
As I've always been meaning to ask you why when you drive you chew mouthfuls of cotton.
Because I love fall.
It's been a weird thing I thought that you do. Like, okay, sure, that's weird.
All right, so Joe loves fall.
Yep. Claire, what show are we doing today?
We're doing Gilmore Girls.
And you've seen like all of it.
Oh, I have seen it all. Every single episode, and we're not doing the remake or
No, we're doing Gilmore Girls proper as it is, and then because the remake is still going, isn't it? Or did they do?
Well, I think they're having another season.
Google tells me that there's nothing in the works, but ... and then I didn't click the clickbait, so I don't know.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm with Joe. Like,
so you
I'm
mean
pretty
BuzzFeed
sure
was telling you.
I'm pretty sure that there's probably more coming with that. They left a great cliffhanger. Well, there's debate about if it's great or not. They left a cliffhanger.
There was a cliffhanger at least.
Yeah, I actually spent my last Thanksgiving, because I just had like crazy surgery. I spent Thanksgiving watching that Gilmore Girls show. The Netflix one. That was my Thanksgiving break last year. And I ate a Hot Pocket. It was like the most calm Thanksgiving of life.
A single Hot Pocket.
Yeah, I couldn't eat that much at the time. But, anywho, Gilmore Girls is great. I'm very excited to be watching the show today. I think it'll be fantastic.
Gilmore Girls ran 7 seasons. The first 6 on the WB, and then the last one that switched over to the CW, which I thought were the same thing.
They're the same thing.
They're the same thing.
It didn't change channels.
Don't you remember when WB became CW?
I mean, I guess, yeah.
Did your family have cable? Mine did not.
We did, but it's not like I was watching the WB anyway.
Oh. Well, the Zindu family was watching the WB. Were you?
I was watching the WB.
Oh, yeah.
Everything on the WB is great, still to this day.
Well, you loved the Buffy. You were more like the Buffy. I was like the Dawson's Creek, Felicity, Gilmore Girls. What about Seventh Heaven, though?
No, I never watched that
Seventh
rape
Heaven.
man on shows.
So this is their third WB
He got, the dad
Oh.
got like in trouble for doing all kinds of creepy stuff.
So creepy,
Well,
so
it turns out
gross.
everybody did creepy stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, after today.
A lot of...
Well, okay, but you guys, as gentlemen, we discussed this previously. You guys were surprised to hear some of these facts. And as a lady, those things happen all the time. But in Stars Hollow, that would not fly. Lorelai
Is that
Gilmore,
the name of their town?
Yes, Lorelai Gilmore would not be down with any sexism. And if I see any in the show, well, I feel like her dad was always putting her down. And she's, I shouldn't give you guys spoilers.
Well, you know who's down with sexism and sexual harassment? Kate from Lost.
Joe,
What?
so since I got a text from Joe.
I forgot. You were still watching Lost.
Man, I've been watching a lot of Lost.
So we watched, so after last week, we watched some Lost, and Joe texted me just in the middle of the week. We weren't talking or anything. He just texted me, "Fuck Kate, fuck Sawyer."
Oh my god, he sent me that too.
Yeah, they're the worst.
You should have thrown it on the group text. Save some time.
Well, like Sawyer, is an asshole, which I get. The thing I was thinking about recently is I hate Kate and Sawyer very much, but in real life, if I were actually on an island with these people, I would hate Sawyer because he's an asshole, but I would be like, Kate, you're just being too nice. But for a show, I hate Sawyer because he's an asshole, but then I hate Kate way more because she's giving this asshole a chance and just being super irrational. And as a TV show character, I just fucking hate that.
I feel like if I got on a private island on a island crash
Wasn't
landed
it
or whatever,
magical? It was magical.
I think I may take on somewhat of a Sawyer persona, not a whole lot,
Ew.
No, I would try to be like tougher than I am.
Yeah,
like,
there's elements of where you just gotta look out for myself because we might not all survive. Like, I get all that. But like, there's a point where he like acts like he has some girl's asthma medication when he really doesn't.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that.
And then
Yeah.
he uses that to like get Kate to kiss him.
Nice.
Well, I hope that you start watching Gilmore Girls after watching today's episode. As much as you like last week's Lost, I will much more enjoy a couple episodes of Gilmore Girls.
My Jimmy-esque like one-line description of Lost is that it's Grey's Anatomy on an island.
Okay, I've never seen Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, you should totally watch it.
I mean, maybe in the future I'll watch the first and the last episode.
Oh, well, good thing it's not ending anytime
You
soon.
watch Grey's Anatomy, you're just like, oh man, this is just like Lost except at a hospital.
Man.
I know it's embarrassing that I'm an avid watcher, but I'm there. It's a great show. I love the drama. They just tied it back to the beginning most recently. Yeah. Oh, so good.
I mean, everyone watches shows that are terrible. I'm still watching Supernatural on the CW. It's on season 13.
Shut up.
And it's still so good. Come at me, internet. That show's great.
I feel like there's things that they do on like a show like Grey's Anatomy where it's just like people are just like, oh, that's lazy writing, and then we'll do the same thing on Lost, but because it's like a spooky island, people are like, ooh, this is weird. But really, it's the same show.
I don't know. I'm still watching Frasier.
Yeah.
I fell off the Frasier boat, but I'll come back someday. 11 seasons is a lot.
It's so good.
It's not that much when you keep thinking it's only 9.
I really think that I'm going to watch like all the Christmas episodes for Christmas this year just for fun.
Like you're going to skip around to the Frasier Christmas episodes?
I just decided that because I hit one recently and I'm like, yeah, I got to do this again. I got to have like a Christmas Frasier moment. It'll be great.
Does any one of you guys, I mean, we should talk about this when it's close to Christmas, I suppose. So I was just going to ask, you guys think about it, but does anyone have like a Christmas movie that they watch? Like what's your...
I'll ponder.
A what?
I mean, actually, movies brings us right back to Gilmore Girls. They are some gals that love movies. So I'm wondering if in this first episode, how many movies will be discussed? Because I have a feeling there'll be a lot of discussion about books and movies.
I mean, is this like your typical CW? Well, first, I mean...
Oh, I actually have just realized I have a couple questions, but continue.
Yeah, well, first, Joe, what happens on this podcast if people don't know?
It's called First and Last because we watch the first and last episode of a TV show. And in between, we make predictions and talk about what we saw. And mostly just, become one with the TV show that we're watching.
We're trying to slowly become the best digital selves we can be.
Yeah, so after watching Gilmore Girls, we're all going to come out and be like super witty and talk really fast. It's going to be great.
I agree.
Last week, I know how to kill a boar.
Did they kill a boar in any of the episodes we watched?
No, but I've been watching.
But you've been watching it. Joe, what do you know about Gilmore Girls? Do you know anything? Like, are you like me? Like
it's like a mother-daughter team, and they're both named Lorelai, and they figure out life together.
Okay, so I think, I mean, I agree that's probably right, but for some reason I think Gilmore Girls is like, there's like 3 sisters that like attend. Would you let me tell you what I think this show's about?
I'm shocked.
I think it's like 3 sisters, and I thought they just like went through school together, and that was really it. Like, I thought it was just like a teen drama. Like, I don't think there's anything to it.
I think you're thinking of like...
There's a different show like that, isn't there?
Gossip Girl or...
Am I thinking of
Girls?
Gossip Girl?
I don't know, but that's so way off.
Well,
Joe, you were pretty spot on.
Well, so you have questions for us, Claire, before we like kind of watch this?
Well, like last week you asked me some last questions. Now, I don't remember the first episode of Gilmore Girls.
Sure.
I don't remember the last episode. Maybe I remember that a little bit better. But I want to know how many movies that they will discuss or quote.
Okay, so do they... I was going to ask this earlier. Do they discuss movies and books and like pop culture and in like the very like... I mean,
CW.
Dawson's Creek, CW-esque high school way where they just like...
It's a little bit loftier than like Dawson's Creek. The writing is a little bit more lofty, I would say.
A little more highbrow.
A little bit, and that's one of the things. And there, it's also a little bit more indie. Like I don't remember what band it was, but there's some like indie band that like comes and plays at something late in a later season. And I rewatched that at one point, and I was like, really, that band?
Simple Plan or something.
I'd have to look it up, but it was like, yeah. I don't know. I think that you'll hate it and love it.
Or whatever.
You'll start watching it for sure.
Wow, that's a.
Okay,
you're
not really for sure.
Convinced that I'm going to start watching it.
Wait, that was a question?
So,
no, but I want to know about like how many movies you think they will discuss.
So not just side quotes, but maybe say by name. Or,
yes, let's do say by name.
Yeah.
5.
Okay, Joe, do you have one?
Movies or shows? You said.
I just said movies. Ugh.
Let's say. I'm gonna take the over on Josh. You said 5.
I did.
I'll say 6.
Okay, how many times will they eat?
Once within the first 10 minutes.
Oh wow, that's very
I was
deliberate.
Gonna say 3, one for each act.
Okay.
It's one so that what you are saying, you think the pilot's a day, and we're gonna have breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
I bet we get breakfast, lunch, and breakfast.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right, I'm writing this down. But yeah, I don't know. I think this is a very interesting show, and I think it actually though is going to be more interesting on rewatch. Like, will I still like it? Will I still have those connections to it? I think I will. I feel like this is a very nostalgic show. Like, it's going to bring me back to high school, but I don't know.
I was going to say, how mad are you going to be when we hate it?
Are you going to be able to defend the show really, really well when I want to light it on fire when it's done?
No, I'll probably just laugh at you. Like, you do you, man. If you don't like the show, don't like the show. But for all people who do like the show, like, I think that there's a different reason why people like the show.
I mean, I'm Barry, friend of the show.
Hey, Barry.
He loves. I mean, I know him and his Kansas people all loved Gilmore Girls.
He did? Oh, I knew I liked him.
And then, so I don't think I've really known anyone that's actually watched the show that doesn't like it, So yeah. I assume I would like it, but it's just one of those things I never got around to. And it's also WB, and I was a sucker for that growing up. So
yeah, I think it's gonna pull on those heartstrings.
Were Xena and Hercules on the WB?
UPN.
Was it? Oh yeah, probably UPN.
UPN. Forgot about that station completely.
Yeah, Channel 9.
I don't know where you lived. I was in Cincinnati.
Yeah, it's Channel 9 here.
I don't know.
9 was WGN, so.
That's not a place. That's not a thing here.
World's greatest network.
That can't be true. Well, I mean, do you got any other questions for us at all?
I mean, I probably will think of them. But
yeah, I mean, you definitely have to at least give us some lightnings before we go to the final one, for sure.
Oh, I think that might be the more fun to set up that next premise.
Is there magic in this show?
Oh, so much.
Really?
We'll have to see.
You just said there was so much, and then you just walked it back and said, I'll have to see.
There's no magic. I mean, maybe there's an episode. Actually,
I'm getting a Harry Potter vibe right now.
But there is a private school.
What? How much?
I shouldn't tell you that. I just gave away the premise of the whole first episode.
I think there's some sort of fantasy element to the show.
Really?
Yeah. I said some sort. I mean, it could be something silly, but
okay, think about it.
I don't think they're witches.
This is like a sophomore girl.
Yeah.
So she's getting into. This isn't Charmed?
Yeah.
Okay. Same network. You think they had 2 magic shows?
I mean, CW right now has 5 superhero shows on it.
Okay, really?
Magic Channel.
Okay, well, at that point in time, not so magic. Well, I guess it was in some ways. Joe, what are you thinking?
I'm going to call it a pug. There's a pug.
Oh, okay.
That Rory plays with or something.
Who's Rory?
You're going to have to watch.
Oh, man.
Hopefully it's a pug.
Do you remember, the finale of the original run?
I feel like I remember it. Parts of it, I don't remember it happening. It was a later watch. It wasn't I was.
But you remember kind of where they go by the end.
Yes, because I've watched it in reruns. So I think I only watched it on the was it CW while I was in high school, and then when I went to college, it was a guilty pleasure when it hit on the ABC Family Channel at 8 a.m. I think I also had it DVR'd for a minute. Now you can on demand it. Netflix changed the world, but. Yeah.
We watched Smallville in college. That was our thing.
Oh, fun. My little brother liked that show.
It's a great show. Someone threw a chair while we were watching it.
They were so mad at Smallville?
Well, Lana wouldn't kiss Clark. It wasn't happening.
Oh, no.
There's going to be some of that in this.
Well,
get ready.
All right, I'm ready for it. Okay, well, let's watch this thing. We're going to go to this pilot episode, and we'll see you in 5 seconds, but really it's 44 minutes for us. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Back in the game.
Take 2. I had to fix Joe's microphone because I didn't record him.
Can you hear me now? Oh, yeah.
I'm not listening to the
cool.
thing. I can see your thingy.
I trust it.
I see your voice box moving in the computer screen.
Yep. Check out my voice box.
That's the one. So we watched the first episode, and I thought it was just okay.
Oh. It just, like, warmed my heart with so much, like, awesomeness. Like, I'm so excited that you guys got to meet so many great friends in this episode.
Uh-huh.
You were really funny in it, where you were like, you need to pay attention right now because you're missing, like, part of the town. It's, like, part of the town. You got to watch it. It's part of the town. And it's like, Claire, I don't care about this gymnasium full of, like, little girls doing ballet or whatever.
But that's when Lorelai and Rory, like, both, like, their conversations collide, and Lorelai finds out that Rory has a boy. It's super important.
Right, I know, but I don't have to be staring at the screen to hear them talking about it.
Yeah.
Maybe I pulled, like,
you're very,
an annoying person or a teacher. I don't know. Like, you're very watch the screen.
You're just the kind of person that, like, if I'm not looking at you, that means I'm not listening to you.
That's literally my whole day with children.
And I'm the person where I look like I'm doing anything else besides listening to you, and then you go, what did I just say? And then I repeat the exact same thing that you just said back, and then you get salty about it.
I'm not salty about this. I'm not
saying you're salty.
I really do think that you would have missed the magic if you hadn't watched the screen. It's, like, that great to me.
I thought it was a good intro. I just don't think I, like, lulled as much as I thought I would. Maybe
I would agree. Like, I definitely had my questions for you guys, and I think they were more geared to after the show is picked up, like a couple episodes in, when they're, like, full stride. Like, I should have also mentioned, like, the coffee drinking, not just the eating and the movies.
I want to count how many coffees are in the last episode, because Lorelai, she had a coffee. Different coffee, I think, in every scene.
Well, that was that's a huge connector.
She only doesn't drink coffee at work, is what I think I've noticed.
Oh, she drinks coffee at work.
I don't think I saw coffee
You're
at
right,
work.
I don't, normally it's like, she'll walk in and, like, it'll be a huge thing because Suki, and where's the coffee, and et cetera, et cetera.
And then we can talk about Suki just right away, because
Suki.
Apparently that's Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like her to me.
I feel like this is, like, her big breakthrough moment. And it was, like, questionable if she was going to come back for the sequel on Netflix.
She's too busy being Sean Spicer.
I mean, she's a pretty busy lady. I won't tell you if she did or not.
Yeah, she's kind of big time by that point. I mean, we're not going to watch the sequel anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Well,
you say that now. You have not seen the final.
I mean, like, today we're not watching the sequel, so it doesn't really factor in.
We could totally.
But it does matter for our predictions.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it does factor into that, technically.
I don't have any Suki
Except
predicts.
for, I heard that the Roseanne thing that they're doing, I heard that they're going to do it, so that they're going to do it like the dad didn't die. So they're just going to pretend he didn't die.
Oh my god.
Which is funny, because I heard that and I went, so the 9th season. That's what they did. The last season they just pretended like he didn't die. And then they said, oh, it was part of her book. Or that's at least what I still think happened. Or whatever.
Oh,
and now,
the 9th season was the last season?
Yeah.
So you're saying they're just redoing the last season?
Yeah, kind of.
No, I think they're saying it's like the 10th season. Uh-huh. But I think they're just pretending. I think they're just, like, retconning the ending where, like, you know how, like, they won the lottery and everything was great, and then at the very last episode she was like, oh, this, you know, like, this was all my book or whatever. I think they're just not pretending that part happened, and they're just going to continue on like they have
like they have won the lottery.
Like they had won the lottery, and the dad's still alive. And stuff.
Okay, I might watch that. So
they're just gonna JK that whole ending part, and be like,
I'm kind of.
That was more like Mark Hamill's Joker than Roseanne.
But hey, Joe, are you gonna like tell us what happened on this episode? You like to break it down.
We meet Lorelai and her daughter Rory. Lorelai is about 32. Rory's about 16. They live in some sort of northeastern town.
What town?
Stars Hollow. It's
in
a very small town.
All Stars Hollow's Eve.
Sure.
Yes.
Ville.
And they get along great. Lorelai works at an inn.
Independence Inn, Joe.
Independence
Come
Inn.
On.
A B&B.
Patriot Inn.
I do not think it's a B&B.
It's not a B&B.
It is an Independence Inn.
It's a D&B.
I forget her title.
D&D.
I know that they told us at the end of the episode.
She's a manager.
Yeah.
I wanted you guys to pay attention, but
she's like the manager.
We got it.
She's
the
were
manager.
eating pizza.
We can double task, Claire.
Sure.
We're smart lads. We're capable.
The crux of the episode is set up of the conflict of they're trying to get Rory into this fancy private school, Chilton, which Rory is pumped about in the beginning. But Lorelai has to go ask her parents for money, which there's some complications with that. But then Rory at her public school meets a dude, and she's suddenly less interested in going to the private school now.
Well, duh.
So that's kind of the main conflict.
Because there's that sweet Jared Padalecki.
Oh,
that's
goodness.
Sweet.
What show is he on again?
Supernatural.
Oh, and that's your jam.
Remember that show that I talked about randomly at the beginning of this podcast?
He was so pumped when he came on screen.
Well, I saw him. She walked by him for the first time, and I was like, okay, so whatever, some dude. And then, he came up to her when she was, packing her stuff out of her locker, and I was like, wait a minute. Because I knew that Jared Padalecki was Dean. His character was named Dean in some other show. And that's funny because he's in Supernatural and his name is Sam and his brother's name is Dean. So he's Sam and Dean, but in this show his name's Dean. It's just kind of it's super funny.
Super.
Good joke.
But he came up and I was like, "Oh my god, it's him." So now they're in the same it's the same universe to me.
I would say in rewatch, I had a lot of personal connections. I went to private school, and it really clicked in why I like this show.
You went to private school?
Oh, totes. All girls Catholic school. My brothers went to an all boys Catholic school. I wanted to go to the co-ed school, but my mom thought that the boys would influence me too much.
Into the sex?
Not so much the sex, but mainly not trying hard in class, letting the boys answer before me. My mom was kind of promoting
You thought your mom was worried legitimately that you were gonna become subordinate to the boys?
No joke. And it would have totally been like that if I hadn't gone to
Really?
Yes, because I only have brothers. In fact, I look back and I'm like, good job, Jane. That was a nice choice. But at the time, I was really annoyed. And then my high school experience was so different from any TV show. There's not TV shows about all girls Catholic school. Unless it's really
there would,
gross.
But it would be on MTV really late at night.
It'd be really gross
yeah.
and inappropriate and not real life. But I would say that in this show, learning was super cool. And I was one of those people that learning was super cool too.
I didn't get that learning was cool in this episode.
Didn't you see? Okay,
I got the fact that Rory was really into learning.
Yes.
But I didn't at one point ever think that's a cool girl.
Oh, maybe because I connect with Rory and I just
Yeah, we're not led to believe that Rory is cool in this episode.
But in my head she's so cool. I looked past it.
We're shown that we're supposed to sympathize with her and that she's a main character, but she's kind of an outcast because she's funny and smart.
I also feel when she wanted to give up on this opportunity just to hang out with a guy, it clicked into there have been times in my life where it's been oh, I'm supposed to do this, but I'm dating this guy, so I should stay here. And it was oh my gosh, I was trying to pull Rory, and like I need to make sure, like, and her mom had to step in and be like, no, I'm pulling the mom card, and I was like, that's great.
There was one time where I graduated high school and I didn't know where I was going to go to school yet, and then after graduation, a boy signed.
Oh my gosh! My life is not Felicity.
Oh, sorry, you caught on to that one fast.
Did you go back in time later though to fix that?
Well,
you guys don't even know what happened to that show. I challenge you to watch more episodes. Okay, but let's
challenge
go back to
not
this.
accepted.
What did you guys think? Okay, so at Independence Inn, who was there? Because the people at Independence Inn are important.
Not to me.
The Suki and
Just
the French
kidding.
guy.
Suki and French guy. Okay, now you guys missed the harp.
Oh, you mean Miss Swan?
Miss Swan
with the
is
harp.
in this episode, but she's not there for long. Could you tell that she was only going to be a moment character? Or?
She didn't seem like she was important at all.
Yeah, I forgot that happened.
Apparently, she was originally hired as Suki, but then she wasn't able to play that role because she had too many ties to Mad TV.
Well, I haven't seen a Mad TV episode in like 15 years, and the minute I saw her, I was like, that's Miss Swan. The minute I saw her.
Well, that's what she gave up the show to do, and said she could have been Melissa McCarthy, who is Suki, and then went on to...
Be Sean Spicer.
Sean Spicer, yeah, right? What did you guys... So that was the main people at Independence Inn. What about Lori... excuse me. Wow, I don't even get my characters right. Rory and her friends.
Yeah, wait, so Rory is short for Lorelai?
Yeah.
Like
Didn't you guess that?
Rory?
Lorelai.
But like what? Rory? That's the
And
nickname
then-
they came up with?
Yes.
Not
Because
Lori?
her mom decided that there's so many men that name their children after them that why can't women do it too?
Yeah.
Hashtag feminism.
I'm totally
hashtag
fine.
young
I'm
girls.
totally fine with all that.
We
but-
don't care about the fact that she's named the same name as her mom.
Yeah.
We care about the fact that
What would
Rory
you-
is definitely not the nickname for Lorelai.
Lori or
Well, you can't have Lorelai and Lori.
so Rory?
Yeah, because it's at least a different sound when you're like... So my mom had 4 kids, and she always talked about how she made sure that all of them had different vowel sounds. So if she was yelling our name, we would each know which one was being called. So it was Jack, Philip, Claire, and Luke. So like that seems to me very connected in the show. Lorelai and Rory.
Those are the same vowels.
All right.
Only the vowels are the same.
Like the start, I yelled.
All right, so let's pretend for a second that your mom only had one kid,
Okay.
like in this show, and then she named her kid Jane, like in this show. But instead of calling her kid Jane, because that's her name, she called her kid Claire. Does that make any fucking sense?
No,
Or Rain.
Or Rain? Yeah.
but it'd be more likely to be like, I can't even make a Jane.
Like
I can't
the
do
go-to
it.
nickname for a Lorelai is Lo. I feel like, or Lori.
No, Lori.
Lori or Lo.
Lori.
We can agree that it's not Rory, though, right?
Okay, but it's different enough. You have a different starting sound. Like it's great.
It's
You
like
guys
wait,
don't like it.
It's just one of
don't
just
know.
one of those things. I have a weird thing about when like, I mean, a good example is like when people like name their like my name's John, and so then they name their kid John, but then they just call, and then the dad just becomes like Jack for some reason or something like that. Like
Sure.
you know
Yeah,
that
something
happens
like
all the
that, yeah,
time.
Well, so my brother's name is John, and
But-
it's also Jack.
There you go.
And he was Jack, then he was John, and now he's back to Jack.
Why does it happen?
So Jack is a short.
Just name him the fucking name that you want to call him.
Oh, well, because here's the thing. Like, okay, I'm a teacher, as I've said 700 times, but I've had a family where it was Demetrion, Demetriana, Demetrius, and I'm missing one. But they all had literally the same. It was so confusing. You would call Demetria to talk about Demetrion, and it was an amazing family. But most of the time, these nicknames are done so that people are easier. So, like, Jack would then become John.
Just don't name your kid the same name as you.
No, but like the Demetrion and Demetriana family, it was like this huge sign of respect, and it was like this huge thing for the family to have that name.
I don't really know what that doesn't really have much to do with like
But like what I'm saying
Going
is
with
like
Rory.
if it's a huge
But it was like your mom's
if it's
name.
such a big I love this is our whole thing.
I'm gonna argue about this.
But if it's such a big deal for you to name your kid like essentially your name or your other name, then why do you then give them nicknames?
Because when you're calling home to talk about the student Andrea and her mom is also named Andrea, it's really complicated. I've had that also.
Well, then you got to go with Big Andrea and Little Andrea.
We don't. You just say Andrea and Andrea.
But what happens when like the student's really overweight and the mom's an actually skinny little
Oh
girl?
my gosh.
So when Big Andrea gets,
Big
you get a
Andrea.
little iffy on that.
Well, okay, that is actually one of my favorite students of all time.
Is
but
she Big Andrea?
she's not big. I don't know. I haven't seen her in a million years. I hope she's amazing.
I'm just kidding.
I taught her to read.
No, it's fine. It's fine. This whole thing is like, okay, so we can
So
all.
I can't believe you hate Rory.
So we
I'm
can-
really upset about it. I've given many reasons why it's a good thing.
But before we move on, Lorelai and Rory's not a nickname for Lorelai, right? Correct.
Yeah, Lorelai. And then you do the Rory.
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 No, you just pick out part of it.
Which part?
The Rory
Lorelai
part.
part? Or the Lori part?
Okay, whatever.
Maybe Lane gave her that nickname.
You know what
nickname.
She's the first day of school. She was like, "What's your name?" "It's Lorelai, but people call me Lori." "Okay, Rory."
She's like, all right, yeah, let's go with that. That sounds better.
What? I can't.
Claire's just getting it.
Oh my god, okay, everyone who's listening right now, just turn off this podcast.
Joe's Asian. He's allowed to make that
I
joke.
don't think so. I don't think so.
Well, he did, and I'm not deleting it, so it's there
Oh
forever.
my gosh. I do not condone things that are being said in this podcast. Wow, that's rude.
That legitimately like has happened in my family where like my sister's name was like
What's her Wi-Fi password?
my sister's name is Melissa Joy, but like one of her cousins like couldn't say Melissa Joy, like she couldn't pronounce the Joy part. She would say Melissa Doy, and so Doy became a nickname.
What?
Doy.
Doy.
That's like that thing that like that stupid like kid in school Doy, like that thing. Like I love it. It's a funny thing. Yeah.
So wait,
All right,
wait,
next episode.
But wait, back to this nickname. So do people then just continue on with it? Is it like mocking someone who can't say it right, or is it just like a sign of affection then?
No, it's
Well,
just
it
your name
becomes-
now
yeah,
because it just became a
It's just
thing.
your name now.
Yeah.
So Rory was because she...
You don't have any friends who had like dumb nicknames that came from like dumb reasons?
Oh, yes.
Exactly.
Tons.
We
So,
have a
yeah.
friend who's named Butt Stuff. Like, you know, and he doesn't necessarily like that. He doesn't want to meet new people and like say, "Hey, this is Joe and this is my friend Butt Stuff." Like he doesn't like that's not how he wants to be known anymore, but some of us knew him as that. And so if I called him Butt Stuff, he doesn't like get mad about that. He's fine with it. But if like I told a random person that, he'd be like, "I don't really like that," because it's like we're friends.
My brother Philip cannot handle that some people call him Phil. So like names are sensitive. What we're learning right now is that names are sensitive, and that you guys should just be accepting that Lorelai can also be Rory. Names are sensitive.
I really need somebody listening right now to be named Rory or Lorelai and tweet at us at FNL Podcast.
Please do, because this is a thing, and we should support it. I support all names.
I mean, I'm fine with it if it happens. I'm just saying it doesn't make sense, like, logically, if you follow the path.
Why you gotta be so logical? Why can't it just be fun? Like, why can't you name
Well,
people
speaking
for
of fun,
let's hear about it.
Rory's going to go to a private school.
Yes,
and
she
she's
is.
really excited about it, which is funny because that's a punishment for almost every other child in actual TV.
No, learning is so good.
Bad kids get sent to boarding schools and like private schools. Like they get pushed. She's like in high school. She's gonna get kicked out of high school to go like.
Yeah. Or if they have to go to a private school, like they like try to find ways to rebel or something, like on Fresh Prince or.
So it's just interesting, like this, like the weirdness of like she's super excited to like leave her school and her people she's known and go to somewhere completely new.
Well, but then this boy like stops her in her tracks, which
Dean.
which you heart. What do you guys think about the idea that Lorelai's parents, who obviously based on the screen footage that we saw, like the backdrops and everything they had of like the fancy house, they are going to foot the bill, but in order for them to foot the bill, they're going to have this weekly dinner.
That sounds great. Like, you're going to pay for my tuition and I get a free meal every week?
Yeah, but
Yum.
Did you not see how painful that was?
I thought it was bad because it was on Fridays.
That's kind of a bummer.
7 p.m. on a Friday.
It should be on like a
Sunday.
Wednesday or a Thursday. Or Sunday night. Yeah, you can do Sunday night. But maybe Rory has to do homework.
Okay, yeah, that's true. It's tough. Wednesday.
Yeah, a Wednesday's good. Maybe it's just church.
Play practice.
Tuesday.
She's not in a play.
Oh, just wait.
I won't see that probably.
Yes, you will. I'll make you happen.
Every other Tuesday.
Okay, so they're at their dinner.
I think once a week's a lot.
They're at their dinner, and that dinner, like, while it was only a little bit in this episode, I feel like it definitely alluded to some themes that are going to be carried on in this series. Did you guys notice the talk about Christopher?
No, I didn't notice that at all.
Oh, because you were eating
that's
pizza.
I totally noticed that. I was paying attention.
That's Rory's dad.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that, like, set up the whole thing about her being a single mom and how, like, the baby.
Also, Lorelai's dad's a dick. Why did he bring that up?
Well.
Right? I mean, come on.
You know.
I mean, obviously they posted him. He's like never paying attention. He's always reading the paper, and he's not really chimed into anything.
He's gonna become so lovable.
Yeah, I bet he is. But he's gonna be a great man. I bet he's gonna be a regular Harvey Weinstein when the day's over.
Wow! Too soon. But I thought that yes, I didn't realize that got brought up in episode 1. Maybe they needed it. I don't know. As a person who's seen the show, I don't know if that's like necessary. Oh, okay. But that is a big part of this episode.
I mean, for the most part, they just made the parents, obviously, there's a point of contention between, like, Lorelai and her parents. Like, and they're going to be butting heads, I think, a bunch.
Okay, last thing you're going to know about is Luke and Luke's diner. Thoughts?
See, if you weren't asking about that,
I would never know it's called Luke's Diner. I'd never know that guy's name.
Yeah, I would never know that was like an important thing.
Did they ever say? I mean, they were at that diner like 3 times.
They panned in from the outside.
So I would, yeah, but it said Williams Hardware.
There was a Luke sign. You must have missed.
Well, it must have been really small. Because I saw the big giant sign that my eyes were drawn towards. Because that's how pictures work. So no, I wouldn't have known that guy's name is Luke. And because the biggest part about that diner was like that random guy was hitting on her at the beginning.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they set a precedent like right away of like, oh, she eats here and she comes here a lot, but then there's this weird like the main guy that like was there wasn't Luke. It was just some random guy. So it was kind of like it kind of drew my attention away. So I just knew they went there.
Yeah.
But so like Joe, yeah, I wouldn't have known anything
from this pilot. I wouldn't have known that it's a thing, but like from hearing about the show from other places, like I feel like it is a thing, and Luke himself is a main character, I think.
Oh yeah.
Luke's probably married to Lorelai at the end of the show. Prediction number 1. Moving along.
Number 1.
I'm gonna try not to blush during your predictions. Like I don't want to give anything away.
Do you want to do yours in a row, or like do you want to?
Let's hear these.
I only have 3, and that was my first one that I just made up right now.
Okay. Well, like along with that, I have Lorelai opens her own B&B.
Yeah, okay.
Although I wrote that down, and then a second later, she was like, "Suki, when we open our own B&B," I was like,
Sure.
"I fucking knew it, man."
I fucking knew it.
You should have been like paying attention when you're writing notes.
Lane is dating the hayride guy in like wherever they are. Like that guy is still around.
Okay.
I wrote down Lane is married.
To the hayride guy.
Sure.
And then my other
It's
one.
so hard not to like clarify any of your guesses.
Clarify.
Oh, that's my name.
Yeah, that was clever. That was terrible. I'm sorry. And then my last one is Rory majors in economics.
Ooh, You know where she majors in economics?
No, where?
At Brown.
Oh!
Oh, I wish I could tell you the answers.
I wrote communications first, and I wrote that's even too so boring. I don't think you can even do that. Also, anyone listening, if you majored in communications, it's not a real major. Go back to school.
Yeah, I just wrote Rory goes to
That
Brown.
was harsh.
It was a joke, Claire.
I'm JKing.
But seriously, they'll get a different degree. Also, undergrad degrees don't mean anything anyway.
No.
So go to community college for a little bit before, so you don't have as many.
Save that money.
Yeah.
Save that money.
If you are listening
For
and
sure.
pondering your choices about life. But on that note, so we can ponder more episodes of Gilmore Girls. Are you guys ready to watch the finale? I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah. Did you have any other lightning things we should look out for?
There's just gonna be a lot of changeover, and I'm interested to see. I'm gonna be most watching for what is reoccurring. I want to see if they pull anything back from the pilot. That's one thing I've been kind of paying attention to in a lot of the shows that I've seen with you. Is what are they pulling back? And I want to see if they touch on any of the themes that they touched on in the first show.
They didn't talk about movies as much as we thought they did.
No.
But they did do the 3 meals, like I said.
There were 4. That was the fourth meal.
They had...
Are you talking about when I said they ate first was when they were just sipping the sauce? That's not really a meal.
Yeah, that's not...
I
said they had 3
meals. It was a meal.
I didn't say meals. I said they ate. So
yeah, we had separate things.
Okay, so Joe wins.
I win.
Okay,
I win
Joe.
first and last.
Everybody gets points.
Also, I don't think Dean's in the show anymore because he's off hunting demons in a different show.
Yeah,
Oh.
I assume he's gone.
But I hope he makes... So I don't think he's in it. So if he makes a cameo... But
Rory's not messing around with local dudes anymore. She goes to Brown.
Yokel.
There's a lot of people who have feelings about that, so I'm just gonna let you guys see what happens.
All right.
Well, let's see what happens now.
At Brown.
Yeah.
And we'll be back after Rory gets her economics degree from Brown. The final episode of Gilmore Girls is done. Joe is literally freezing to death. And Claire's nose is also cold.
It's pretty cold.
Thoughts, questions, concerns?
Why does the town love Rory so much? Did she save the town clock tower or something, or
Why can't people just be behind you?
Did they do this for every kid from that town though?
I mean,
It's a little intense.
they do a lot of intense things for them, but you guys were not having the heartwarming moments that I was. I kept looking at your faces oh my gosh.
You also have 6.5 more seasons, or just seven full seasons of knowledge behind this. So of course we're not going to have the reactions to
I know,
what you had.
But it really is set up well if you watch the series. I mean, it seemed a little bit long-winded when we were watching it, and there's a lot of stretch moments, but I still liked it.
I'll do my recap. I'll do the recap because I wrote the recap in 2 sentences.
Oh.
Rory got a job, and the town throws a going-away party.
that's it?
So
Yeah.
I'll add one more, and then she leaves for the job.
But where did she go to school?
Yale.
She went to
You
Yale.
guys were not correct.
Oh, I didn't say at school.
I said at school.
She didn't go for economics either. She went for
Journalism.
journalism.
I was right that it was Ivy League though.
She did take some economics classes, so I kind of give you points.
Who doesn't take economics classes?
I-
Everyone takes one, right?
I didn't.
I mean, it's
I was
all
not shocked.
it's all math. It's whatever. But no, okay. I wouldn't give myself a point. She took an economics class. That's a major.
Well, her dad was a professor, or her grandpa was a professor for a minute. Spoiler.
Oh, crazy. Don't ruin the whole show for me, Claire. What if I want to...
Totally gonna watch
I'm going to watch all of it.
tonight.
And you're going to ruin it. You get to the point where...
Whatever. Next week, I hope that I hear you're talking with Jimmy and Joe, and you guys are chatting about how much you've been watching Gilmore Girls.
How much GG we've been not watching.
I will be saying that for sure. I need 5 more seasons. I got 5 more seasons of Frasier. Come on.
Oh, that's true, Frasier.
Because Frasier's the best show. But no, yeah, she got back from college or whatever. She was gonna go on a roller coaster trip with her mom, but then
how cute.
And they're still having grandpa dinners on every Friday.
Yep.
Still the worst day. Why Fridays?
It really did, it seemed to show in this episode how challenging that was for them to all be there at the same time. I think that was the awkward piece, was there'd be a Friday dinner and someone would miss, and as a viewer of the show, that was part of the drama. If someone wasn't able to make it.
She's just back. I feel like she was just back from school. She's trying to get her life together. How can her? I mean, I guess her grandma's old and out of touch because she's an old person. But she's a young girl. She's got stuff to do.
Could you imagine if every Friday night you had to dress up though? That's the piece that I think is very intriguing. You have to go in your formal wear to go to dinner with 2 people. At a house. I wouldn't be able to do that for a month, much less 7 years. I would do it.
But there's a maid and stuff. You gotta dress up. It's not like you're not being served. You're being served.
So Joe, you wear a suit.
I'm totally in. This seems like a great deal.
Give me money and I will eat dinner.
Yeah.
So do you two? There's 3 of us. There's 2 of you. Do you 2 want to have a dinner with me every Friday at 7?
That sounds delightful. Yeah.
We starting an outstanding date and see.
I would do it.
Are you
Are you gonna prepare it?
Oh, I have to do that.
Well,
and you have to give me money. That's part of the thing. Is you give me money and I bless you with my presence.
I just need a dinner. I'll dress up for it. And I love a good put it on my calendar. It's consistent. I like that.
You could you would be okay with having a dinner every Friday night.
At 7.
I mean, I gotta eat every Friday night. It's not
you can still get a happy hour in.
Yeah. You still get a happy hour and you still go out afterwards.
This is a experiment I'm into. I feel like I would give up first, though.
You would. I could commit.
I like being alone on a Friday nights a lot. Fridays
I guess that's part of that.
I do like a snooze moment.
I'm done. I get home from work 6, and then I want to just hang out by myself, and I normally don't hit anybody up, and then one of your friends will be like, "Oh, what's going on?" And you're like, "Oh, I don't know, nothing," and then I'll go do something. I mean, usually I get a sup from Joe.
That's what I was gonna say. When's the sup gonna
the 3 of us hang out pretty regularly, and most Friday nights at 7:00, we are not together at all.
No,
we're not even texting.
I don't think I leave my house or to try to really do anything except for on planned special events on Fridays until 9.
Yeah.
I like an earlier night. I also like a happy hour, but I also end work a lot earlier than you guys. You guys are still at work at 7 on a Friday.
Oh, I'm definitely not at work at 7 on a Friday.
Okay, well, you finished ping pong much earlier than that. But, Joe, you're, coming home. Well, if you don't work from home.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like you guys work later than I do.
I would say this is the having a dinner with someone every single night or every single week would be good. I wouldn't ever be able to do it on a Friday. Okay. I wouldn't be able to consistently do it on Fridays.
I mean, we've had dinner every Thursday for the past 12 episodes now, so...
13. That's true. That's true. So
how is that?
7:30 every Thursday for the last 13 weeks. We've done this.
So is it?
A whole quarter.
But I'm the only one that's been here all 13 weeks.
Yeah.
That's true.
So I guess I do win this.
Does that just mean you don't have a life or any...
That means I have priorities.
Oh, I agree. Ooh. I'm not judging. I'm just a special guest. In fact, I appreciate when people aren't here because then I get to jump in.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But I do miss Jimmy. He is my favorite member of this group.
Ouch.
Miss you. I mean, no offense, Joe or Josh. I brought snacks. Should I just remind you guys of that so you guys don't kill me before we finish talking about Gilmore Girls? What scenes did you guys like? Because there's a couple I felt like could have dropped now that I watched it.
We want to break this down scene by scene?
No, but like, what are some moments? Like, we haven't really broken.
I feel like I like the Lorelai Rory moments, and maybe that's just because those are the characters I know, and everything else I'm just sort of like. When there was the whole like town hall scene, I was just like, so out, like, because I don't know these
Taylor.
people.
I thought like the town is just too over the top in this episode, and maybe they're like over the top, like, you know, in the show a little bit, but like, man, it was a little too like feel good.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Well, the first time that kind of peeked its head in, I laughed super hard.
But then it kept going.
That was when they were in the diner, and like they're like, "Oh, we're not gonna do the graduation reenactment," and like. There was just one line where a lady like said that just like in the diner, and like I didn't know that was a character, and I thought that was just like a random off joke about like how a lady was super excited about a graduation reenactment, but then it became like the thing that the town was doing, and I was like, oh, that wasn't just a one-off joke.
Yeah, I mean,
this show is geared towards like high school girls, but I like
not 32-year-old men.
I mean.
No, I also like the daughter, like the big Lorelai and little Lorelai. I like them together more, and that's also because like those are the only characters like I know about. Like like I didn't really know who Luke was. Like he wasn't in the first episode. Like really, he was actually a character in this episode instead of like the guy serving them food.
Yeah.
But they did like I knew that diner was important, and then that's where they ended the show, they ended the show in the diner. So I was like, see, I told you that was important, and Williams Hardware's an important part.
Yeah, sure you did.
I did. I said that. Rewind the tape.
I mean, Rory got a job on Obama's campaign.
Yeah, that was 2007, so they weren't even sure like if that was the like primary season. He wasn't even like full on candidate yet.
I cannot take you seriously. He just put the blanket over him, and he looks
This
kind of...
feels great. By the way.
I wish we had a video part of the podcast right now.
I'm sorry. Okay.
This feels fantastic.
And there's also like a special guest. What did you guys think about the special guest?
Oh,
once again I said, who's the special guest?
Yeah.
It's a reporter lady who I don't even know who that is.
Oh my god.
I don't know who that person is.
Okay, well,
it's like Charo from what was it?
Don't Trust the Bee?
Yeah, Don't Trust the Bee. When Charo was in, I was like, who's that? And you and Jimmy had to tell me who that person was. This was an important news
she's like
person.
A very famous news anchor, and I'm going to pronounce her name wrong, so Joe, you do it.
It's Christiane Amanpour?
Yeah, there you go. You got it perfect. I just remember being like pretty surprised by that, because this was also a point in time where I was really into news, because it was right after the Bush situation where I was learning about watching news, and
we're calling it the Bush situation.
I mean,
we're calling that whole 8 years a situation.
I mean, we're in the time of Trump. That looks like
this is a situation. Yeah. Holy shit.
That was like the good times, I guess. But
we're calling that a situation.
I don't know. I also had a lot of friends in college that were journalists, so like I guess I knew what was up in that scene. However, like, let's get serious. She had so much potential, and like picking journalism.
They couldn't get like Barbara Walters is essentially what they. What
would you have picked for Rory's career / major? She has so much potential.
I always really liked that she chose journalism, because the reasons behind it you see like right in the first season. Like she starts in like school newspaper, and she's really into it.
Okay,
she's a regular jughead.
And I'm not going to pull, like, a grandpa and grandma, because they were always, like, trying to get her to do more things. And you guys also missed that she dropped out of Yale for a while.
Yale?
It was dramatic.
Oh, no.
I know. Can you believe she would make a choice like that?
Was it for a boy?
Partially. She might have gotten arrested.
All the good ones have been arrested at least once.
You know, she's her mother's daughter.
Oh, that was weird.
Then she said that in the first episode, right?
The last episode.
She said that. She said like, "Well, I'm my mother's daughter." I would have loved it at the end of that first episode. She was like, "Because I'm pregnant."
Well, now you know what happens
in this
Netflix recap.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Does she say that? I'm my mother's daughter though?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, okay.
But spoiler.
She's Pregerton.
That's why they think there's gonna be another one.
Pregerton.
Yeah, so I was really surprised at how, like, okay, so it's a very different way to end this show than other shows I've seen with you guys. I felt like this was, like, the most, like, token, I'm going to recap and close off storylines and just make it pretty. And it wasn't like, let me retell the whole show or let me have a dream sequence or something like that. Have you guys seen a lot of shows that end like this so far?
Like Frasier, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, Frasier kind of ends, like, with him, like, he wraps up his time in Seattle and he moves. Yeah. You know, that's kind of... It's kind of what hit. So when she was in... Did she live at home when she was in Yale or something? Or, like... How she was really involved with this town the whole time she was in college.
Well, it's 30 minutes away.
Everything is 30 minutes away in this place. Her Chilton was 30 minutes away. Grandma's is 30 minutes away. Yeah. But so I mean, you know, it's without her like actually leaving to go to college because she didn't really leave and go to college then. She just was like around still. So then it just makes sense.
She lived at Yale.
But if you're only 30 minutes away, you didn't really leave. Like, you know. But so.
You're the only one in this room that, like, lives nearest to home to know what that means. Is 30 minutes away, like, you're still living at home?
I mean, I don't know. I live like an hour away.
Is that like you're not living at home?
It means that I don't ever go home.
Okay. But if you live 30 minutes away, would you be more likely to go home?
No, but that's just
that wasn't what I expected at all.
But that's just my personality. Like, I wasn't like when I left for like college. You know, like I left for college and then I never like went back home. Mm-hmm. You know, like I was 18 and I left, and then I like never like moved back in or did anything. Like I didn't do that. I wasn't like she went to college and she obviously moved back home. It was like planning on and trying to like doing a big trip and doing all this stuff. I mean,
well. But
she's
she
back
broke
home
up
for
the engagement, and so she had to like leave where she was living. So that's.
Yeah. Oh, but we know she's back home every Friday for dinner.
Yes, what are grandparents?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, she's like
not in the town that she's from.
I mean, and that's a weird thing to do in college. It's a weird thing to do in college. I would say
that's really weird in college.
It's weird to like have a legitimately regular checkup, like physical interaction with your family. While you're in college.
Yeah.
It's like that's like not what college is for. College is to like not do that. College is to go away and be you.
I think I always wish I had a family that did things like that, and I thought it would be great. Although, like in this show, they show you like the good parts of that, and then also like how annoying it is. I also think maybe
like
the
every
money
Friday,
helped.
like for instance, every Friday you can't make plans because you have to go hang out with your grandma.
Well, but we just got 7 p.m. It's early enough that you can get a happy hour, and you know. Going to be done early enough that you can still go out. In college, when were you going out? Like, were you going out at 7 o'clock?
I mean, I don't go at 7 o'clock now, so.
7 o'clock on Thursday. Oh.
He gets thirsty at 7 on Thursdays.
For the rest of the weekend.
You were that kind of student?
At least for like my last year or so. We just had like a bagel seminar on Fridays.
A what?
It was like, we just had like a seminar with someone would come speak and there's bagels. That's at noon. I just got to make it to the bagel seminar and I'm fine.
You did college backwards.
No, he did it right. I had like my last couple classes in college were like, I had one class where it was just like independent study and I met with my teacher like literally twice and that was it. And I got like an A. And then some other one where it's like at noon at one time at like
wasn't it like
noon every other week I had to like go to this class and talk with like 4 other kids and we like did a project and that was it. And then
that was your senior year?
I had like my like last semester I had like one big project and like 3 things to do. Like I barely went to class because that wasn't what I was doing. I was doing projects and stuff. So you know.
Oh, yeah. No, I was like student teaching, so like that's like full-time job and then classes afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds.
So I missed out. I didn't really get to.
You were going to college to go to school.
I was. I like paid to do a job. It was weird. But so overall, what do you guys think? Wow, that silence was deafening.
Nah, I wanted Joe to go.
It seemed the intro, the first episode is a very good intro to the characters and kind of the setup. But when I watched the finale, it made me kind of realize that they hadn't really gotten quite into the feel yet in that pilot, because it was a lot snappier in the finale, which makes me think that, you know, it wasn't, which, and most shows are like that, where it wasn't quite fully formed in that pilot and that intro. So I think there's room for growth to get into that like comedic rhythm, and then the finale seemed like a good tie-off. You were obviously having moments about it, so seems like there's some things. Yeah, I'm not about to like start watching this, at least until like Lost is done, but like
Lost.
But
once he gets to past season 2, he might be done with it. We'll see.
Well, just start Frasier up again.
It seemed, at least from out here, it seemed like a successful first and last episode.
Okay. But let me explain, I guess, before I jump down my throat, Claire.
I'm gonna stay quiet.
No, but so watching it, I feel like this show is a little young for me. And with that is like, it seems like obviously there's probably like a little bit more drama and stuff that happens when you actually get to know these people and whatnot. Like obviously like something crazy happens with Dean probably for a little bit, and then she gets some other boy, and whoever that guy was that like abruptly took the ring back from her in the recap that we saw.
You're missing a couple other guys, super fast. Yeah.
Sure, I mean, of course, there's going to be a couple guys. 7 years, there's going to be a couple guys. So there's stuff like that, but like, you know, I mean, like you said, it's like I feel like most of this was probably towards like high school and early college girls, like actually watching it. And then, like, you know, I mean, when I was in high school, I loved Dawson's Creek. But, like, right now, I probably wouldn't watch I probably wouldn't watch Dawson's Creek now. Because I'm not there anymore.
I might. Like, I haven't thought about that show in a minute.
So,
I don't know what song that is. But it's not that song, I don't think.
Is that right? We are everybody.
That was last episode.
Yes, that definitely is You All Everybody.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
You all everybody.
Well, we got that wrong. But
yeah, so okay, we did get that wrong. That was the other text message I got from you.
I think that this episode was similar to the pilot, where it had no meat in it. Like neither of them had anything to really sink your teeth in. You kind of got like the shape of characters and the idea of what it was going to be like, but it wasn't like there was any heavy drama or heavy action, or even like
it was a very plot
strong conclusion or any drama.
No, I mean this last episode was such a feel good episode, is really what it was supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
You know, which makes sense for a last episode. So I think it was probably a really good last episode for this TV show. You know, all of these people that you met the whole time, like they really showcased like the whole town, and like I assume that they're all there. I kind of think that I might. I mean, obviously, judging from 2 episodes, I'm not 100% sure that I'd be like behind Rory, like all the time. Like I think I'm like, man, you're so cute. Like I want you to succeed and like do great. But like I don't think I, in the end, would really care. Like,
Well, I think that the way they set it up, it's interesting because there's times where you're really like pro Lorelai, and then there's other times you're really pro Rory. Like they kind of
when they're.
I can't say the name right.
Rory? You mean Rory?
They really put. Gosh, we're not getting the names. That was like an hour. But I think that that's like a fun way that they create the drama. There was no drama in this at all. Like I guess the first episode had some where Rory decided she didn't want to go to Chilton anymore. But in the final
Did she go to Chilton, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, we don't even know.
Yeah, I don't know. Why would
She got into Yale.
I mean,
and Harvard, but
some people have gone to public school and gotten to Yale, so it's not unheard of.
I mean, state school, right?
Large donations by their parents, whatever.
I don't know. Did we make predictions?
I did.
All right.
Yeah, we were mostly.
And Joe did. Well, all my predictions were pretty much wrong.
Oh,
but
not shocked.
Lane is dating the hayride guy.
Not
true.
Well, I said that she's married, so.
And you were right.
Yeah.
So Joe was right there. 1 point, Joe. 0 points, me. And I said Rory majors in economics. You said she took a class in economics, so that's like a point, right?
I give you points for everything.
I
said that Rory went to Brown, so kind of the same idea, but
no.
Still an Ivy League.
Yeah.
I'm not giving you a point for it, but I'm like saying you at least you're in the ballpark.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like.
But I probably would have agreed with you with an Ivy League in general, though. So because I really liked Brown, the idea of Brown.
Why Brown?
It's an Ivy League school that I know the name of. That's why. that's it. There was if I would have remembered Yale was a school for if I would have just thought of Yale, I'd have been like,
you're just wanting. So Joe filled that need.
Joe said Ivy League school, and then he said the name of one. So then I was like, yes, obviously that's correct.
Oh, feel you.
So
it just felt like Harvard or Yale would have been too like
on the nose.
Yeah, or mainstream for Rory. She's like, whatever, I'm gonna go to Brown.
Okay.
I listened to the Shins.
Cornell.
They were the band that played a special they guest performed on their spring break episode.
Who did?
Spring break with the Shins.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah,
silly.
How hardcore this show was. So hipster.
And then I said Luke married Lorelai, big Lorelai. They kissed in the last episode.
I give you a half a point.
So, but they're not together, or
not
seemingly at the end they're kind of together.
It is a struggle with Luke and Lorelai.
Luke, for a minute, I thought he looked like one of the guys, a really older version of the guy from Mallrats. What the main?
Oh,
you know what I'm talking.
You said that and I didn't really get it, and now I'm visualizing and I see it.
It's not the same person.
No, not even close.
At all. But there's some light on his face, and I was like, is that the guy from Mallrats? And then and if that was, I would have been 1,000% into Luke.
If it was the Mallrats guy?
Yeah, the Mallrats guy's fun.
I feel like the guy who plays Luke.
Brody, the guy who plays Brody in Mallrats. So yeah, those are mine. I pretty much zeroed across the board essentially.
Well, I had that Lorelai opens her own B&B, which I was totally right.
Low hanging fruit.
But I predicted that before she mentioned that to Suki in the first episode.
Yeah, I think you did say that before. Seems like this lady's got a dream and she's going to accomplish it. So that's pretty good. Yeah. Overall, I don't know if I'd see myself putting this on anytime soon.
Oh.
But
you're cleaning the house.
Is there
are
there any peak episodes oh man, the washing machine episode is so.
You know what? I feel like I know 5 people I could call. My sister-in-law Emily, I could call her and she could rattle off the top 10. She would know. I never really watched the show like that. It was more of ooh, I'm home from work and Gilmore Girls on, and I'm going to watch the repeat on ABC Family. And then, Seventh Heaven might come on next or something.
Seventh Heaven.
I might have... I watched that a lot this summer, which was sad. Let it happen. But, yeah. I don't really know if there's a peak episode that I can think of.
Gotcha.
I think you just watch it all and enjoy it.
Never say never, right? It's not this is I will say this, I'm never gonna watch Entourage,
Oh, okay.
but there might be a time it hits me where I want to watch this.
This is the kind of show that let's say years down the line you have a kid and then you're trying to reconnect, you're trying to be like Buffy. I hear a lot of parents talk about watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, I'd watch the shit out of Buffy with a kid.
Yeah,
hell
so, like,
yeah.
I feel like
but I want to watch
Girls-
all of Buffy again right now. Now that you just said that.
But Gilmore Girls, I think, is a show like that where it's like adults can get something out of it, even though it's geared towards a kid. Where we might get more nostalgia, but they
Sarah
might
Michelle Gellar's geared to all ages.
Oh my god! You made me watch an episode of that recently. I don't know, man.
I did?
Yeah, we were playing games.
It was the Halloween one?
Oh yeah, I put the Halloween episode of the Scary Show. We watched the Halloween episode of Buffy. I remember that. Yeah, that was fun.
Not for the pod, just for fun.
Yeah.
The things we do for fun. But I feel like this is a show like that. Like, where I could see, like, you're not into it now, but, like, let's say you have a tween girl, and you're like, let's just have some quality time. Pop on, and she's, like, not into Buffy. She, like, doesn't get that life.
Not my girl.
But, I mean, like, let's just say, it might happen. This is a show you could pop on, and you could probably get something out of it, too.
Okay. But I have to actually, like, get into it.
You could.
I'd have to, like, devote myself to it. Like, you know, that's the hardest part.
I
It's
think
like
it would probably
staying
take you, like, 2 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Just 2 episodes?
So you're saying if I watch episodes 2 and 3 by next week, you think I would be toting Gilmore Girls? Because I'll do that homework.
I think you would be, like, way more pro Gilmore Girls. I don't think you would, like, put it on, like you're, like, powering through Frasier. I don't think you would power through, like, Joe's watching Lost. But I think if you watch 2 more episodes, you would understand why people like it.
Next week, I will have watched episodes 2 and 3 of Gilmore Girls.
Oh, God.
And I will say whether or not I'm, like, more or less into it.
I will, like, call in to make sure this happens.
Well, yeah, we'll put you on speakerphone next week. Because Jimmy will be back.
Oh, yay.
Because he'll be resurrected from the dead.
Well, that seems
You found
like
a way to
lot.
bring him back?
Yeah, well, you know, science has gone up in the last couple weeks, so we can do it again.
It's a sideways. It's a
flash sideways.
It's a flash sideways.
Wait, are we all dead? We're all dead?
I don't remember what we ended up saying about
fucking Sawyer.
If you haven't listened to our
worst.
episode about Lost, you should go back and listen. Like, probably a couple minutes ago.
It is funny that like technically these things that these podcasts really are standalone episodes in a way. Like we only watch one TV show and talk about it, but we do talk about a lot of other things. So I really hope that everyone kind of like if you dive into one, hopefully you go back to like before that time.
Somebody like just clicks in like right now is gonna be really confused as to what we're talking about.
Probably because
like Frasier, Lost, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and then it'll be like a little bit of Gilmore Girls.
What if someone for some reason is listening to this episode and they fast forward it to like the middle of it and we're like Rory, Lorelai, Jane.
Oh my gosh, our names debate.
That was the whole talk over the first episode.
Can we delete that yet?
No, that's staying in. I believe
that's gonna be a standalone episode, right there.
Yeah, that's a special. We're gonna have a new behind the scenes episode of just us arguing more. We argued for 3 more hours actually before I turned it off, but I cut it out.
More and more covered by this blanket.
Yeah. All right, we better call this one. So, because Joe is almost fully engulfed in blanket by now.
I am one with the blanket.
You are literally. You can barely see your face out of the blanket now. So before we lose him fully, we're gonna sign off here. If anybody wants to get a hold of us or do a TV show suggestion, you can hit us up on Twitter at FNL Podcast and also email fnlpodcast@gmail.com.
I think I'm gonna start like emailing you guys just like random stuff.
Like, you probably don't email us from like Claire at gmail.com because we'll know it's you.
I don't know. I use my work email to be even more transparent.
Just Claire Zinda
at teacher.com.
At teacher.com. God, I wish you had that at teacher. That'd be fun. But, all right. Well, keep watching Frasier, kids, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, this was great. You know why? Because I just wanted to see you happy.
What?
Oh, that was from the episode. Joe has probably been waiting to lay that one out.
All right, well.
He had that in his pocket.
All right. Good night, Big Jane.
my gosh, this week, there's a kid in the bathroom that put on a belt, and the other kid just heard it, some other kid in the bathroom, and thought that it was a kid, like, loading a shotgun, like, because it was
What kind of fucking belt did this kid have?
It was there's more. So this belt, so then it became, this kid goes back to class and goes, oh my god, someone's loading a gun in the bathroom. So then they
school's over for the day now, right?
No, so then they Snapchatted this whole thing out that there's a gun. So then we started getting calls, and like the kids called the cops, so like the admin didn't even need to. And it was like this whole ordeal. But so it turns out, as we just said, it wasn't a gun, it was this belt. But then my principal like posted a thing like, dear friends and fam, like, we're sorry we had to put the school on lockdown, we just want to keep everyone safe. It ended up it was a belt. And then she got hate on Facebook because she was discriminating against students with military belts. My principal did.
Military belt.
So that's how they describe the belt. It's like one of those belts that it literally you would have it if you're in the military. It's more of like a buckle, like a seat belt, than or like a Boy Scout belt. Do you know what I'm talking about? Joe, you don't. You weren't a Boy Scout. No.
Then don't fucking wear a military belt.
How can you tell a kid what kind of belt to wear?
Because it's school and you can tell kids what to do.
Exactly.
So anyway, the kid would put his belt, but I'm sorry, you can wear any kind of belt. No one should think you're loading a gun.
If I can't wear spaghetti straps, you don't have to wear a fucking military belt.
I don't fight that fight.